In today's Leeds news, Leeds United co-owner Jed York arrested. Mudryk wants Leeds United move. Byram says goodbye. Leite still an option. Leeds join race for Harder, and rumour mill story on Niko Sigur. Tuesday, the 25th of August, you're here at the Leeds View with your daily Leeds United news. We do these from a Monday to a Friday, as well as a transfer wrap-up at the weekends, a watch-along and an instant match reaction, as well as our Sunday sessions for members. We have 2 podcasts a week. We're part of TalkSport's podcasting network, and you can support the channel by liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel or following us and giving us a channel rating over on the audios. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Some news stuff that's not football related, connected to the club, and some transfer stuff towards the second half of the video. We did have last night's podcast out, the match view with Jerry and Paul, looking back at the weekend's action. We will have a watch along tonight over on YouTube for the cup match against Nottingham Forest, as well as a match reaction after that. And then Adonis and Andrea join us tomorrow night for the first wider view podcast on the channel to have a bit of a deeper dive into what's been going on with Leeds and what's been said around the world regarding Leeds United. You can check all of that stuff out if you want to. Right, to start off today, we're going to get stuck into a news story. And if you've got little kids who watch this channel, you might want to bypass this story just a little. Right, not a story that I thought that I would ever be covering regarding Leeds United, but probably shouldn't be surprised at this stage. And I need to be really clear on this. This is still being described as a developing story. So legally, need to be very mindful of that, and also be very mindful of the comments as well, because it's still an ongoing legal issue. Jed York, San Francisco's 49ers principal owner and co-owner of Leeds United, pleaded no contest after being arrested at the weekend. He was charged with 2 misdemeanour offences. We'll give you the detail on that as well. But before we give you that detail, it is worth pointing out and being very clear on Jed York's position at Leeds United. York is not active in the Leeds United's day-to-day activity. That is looked after by Parag Marate. And Jed York's connection to Leeds United is very much through the San Francisco 49ers, or the 49ers Enterprises Group, which is their investment vehicle, which sees him as a co-owner of Leeds United and Rangers through that. So that's the basics of this having any major impact on Leeds. It's unlikely to have any massive impact. So what happened with Jed York? Well, he was arrested on Sunday morning at a trailer park in East Palestine, Ohio, and there were several US agencies involved in this, including the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force and local law enforcement. On Monday, he appeared in court and pleaded no contest to the charges, which were disorderly conduct and possessing criminal tools. Now, court records and multiple US outlets have confirmed what happened and the details on this, and say that the disorderly conduct charge was officially listed as engaging in prostitution before being amended following his plea. He was fined $150 for disorderly conduct and $1,000 for possession of criminal tools, and he served 2 days in prison. Now, the no contest piece on this, and it's important to get the context on this as well. Pleading no contest is not pleading guilty or pleading not guilty. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. Basically saying, what are you charging me with? This, fine, what are the consequences? Right. You're not really pleading guilty to anything. Now, the 49ers have issued a very brief statement on this. They can't go into it in too much detail because it is an ongoing legal case. They can't comment on it. It is a legal case. Leeds United, at the time of recording, have declined to comment on it, again, because of the same reasons. But the NFL have made a very brief statement on this, and they said that they will review this matter under its personal conduct policy for their owners. Now, there have been other owners of NFL franchises that have fallen foul of this situation, and most of them have gotten like a 6-game suspension from the stadium, so nothing major. It is a misdemeanour charge, not a felony charge. More than anything else, this is just embarrassing than anything majorly impactful from the club's perspective. It's unlikely to have a massive impact on Leeds United, if any at all. And it definitely won't impact the day-to-day running of the football club, because Jed York doesn't do that. But there you go. Just a bit of an embarrassing one for Jed. We'll move on. So the Mykhailo Mudryk story continues to move and change fairly rapidly. Yesterday it was on, then it was off, and Leeds were done. Then it was back on again. Then there's some mixed ground in the middle of it. And the latest detail today suggests that the on part of this seems to be coming directly from the player himself and Leeds. Chelsea are very much in the offside of this. The latest on this is Leeds still want to bring the attacker into the club, and according to sources close to the player, he himself is pushing for a move to Leeds United. Chelsea's stance is they would rather he went to Strasbourg, but he is said to not be interested in that. The Athletic took a deeper dive into this today. Byram Cross and Liam Toomey have basically laid it all out based on their sources and interactions with people that they have had. And they say that Leeds sources' confidence in Chelsea's willingness to negotiate has waned, even though Mudryk's own camp are genuinely keen on a move to Leeds. Now, some outlets yesterday, Sky Sports being one of them, and Ben Jacobs initially in Team Talk, basically came out and said that Chelsea don't see Leeds as a realistic player in this situation, that it's not a realistic destination for him, and they're not going to negotiate with Leeds anymore. But Leeds sources say that the club hasn't walked away from negotiations and that the club isn't ready to walk away from negotiations, at least not yet. Now, the issue here all relates to minutes. Chelsea basically want guaranteed minutes in his loan. As we know, Leeds don't operate like that, so you're not getting that at the club. Player doesn't seem to have an issue with this. So Chelsea would rather that he goes to Strasbourg because they can control the volume of games and minutes he will play. But that doesn't appear to appeal to Mudryk himself. His camp regard Leeds United as a good fit for the player right now and what he wants to do this season. Now, Strasbourg can only take 3 Blueco players from Chelsea this summer. Blueco, the owning company of Chelsea. They've got 2 already. So they've only got 1 more spot there. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Mudryk wants to move to Leeds United. Team Talks Ben Jacobs has rolled back on one of his statements yesterday and says that Leeds still remain hopeful of getting a deal done for Mudryk. But Leeds are clear on this situation. They won't be held to ransom and they will not be bullied into a deal that they do not want to do. Isaac Johnson, Leeds Live, had a piece out last night basically saying that Leeds United were happy with their squad at the moment and weren't going to be pushed into any major signings that they didn't want or need to make. He is a player they like and Leeds still want to add more quality, but the right quality for the right price, which I think is pretty fair. Now, Leeds can't be happy with their squad as it is right now because you're minus Piru and you're minus Byram, which means you're minus 2 bodies on that bench. For all of Jaden Lenu and Alfie Creswell's potential, it is potential and Leeds need players on that bench that can compete for that. You're obviously going to have Willie Nonto and Gabby Goodmunson coming back, but Leeds are 1 or 2 attacking injuries away from being very wafer thin in that end of the pitch. So still more work to do. We'll keep an eye on this one over the next day or so. We'll move on. So an emotional Sam Byram said goodbye to Leeds United yesterday and has signed for Middlesbrough after his contract expired at the club. Daniel Farke in his press conference yesterday wished Sam all the best in his future, described him as a good person deep down and someone he enjoyed having around the club, and always said that he always had a soft spot for Sam Byram and only wanted to see good things from him. Was very happy to see him come back to the club and get to play in the Premier League, albeit minimised minutes. Leeds United have also issued a statement out basically praising Sam Byram, wishing him all the best, calling him a very popular figure at the football club. And Sam's done an interview at leedsunited.com and on YouTube as well. And he said the following: how to reflect. It's been a roller coaster, to be honest. Having to leave in 2016 was obviously a really sad time to move away from the club that I had grown up at. Then having a chance to come back, and I never thought that that was possible. To end the last 3 years, how it has gone with promotion, staying up in the Premier League and being able to play and train with some really amazing people. I think it's been a hell of a journey and one that I'm incredibly proud of and happy to have been a part of. I am a big fan of Sam Byram. I was a massive fan the first time he was at the club. I was delighted to see him come back and great to see the impact that he had in the championship seasons. And again, even though it was only a couple of minimised minutes on a pitch, it was great to see Sam Byram walk out on a Premier League pitch for Leeds United and also hold that championship trophy. So delighted for him. But we wish nothing but success and good times for Sam Byram moving forward in his career and hope he finds himself nothing but happiness. Sam, all the best in your future endeavours and thank you for everything you've done for Leeds. Right, we're into the transfer territory now and a couple of stories to update you on, some repeating names and some brand new names to add to our lists. So a name that's popped up several times over the course of this summer has been Diogo Leite. He has been linked again with Leeds this morning and more noise around this one as he still is available as a free agent. According to Simon Jones in the Daily Mail, he says that Leeds United are still interested in a move for free agent Diogo Leite as Leeds want to add more depth to their defence. Now, Leite wouldn't need to join Leeds before the transfer deadline day next Tuesday. He's a free agent. Leeds could let this one go on a bit longer if they wanted to make sure they had all their finances sorted out and what money was available for wages. So this one could rumble on a bit longer than that. But in Jones' piece, he says the following. Leeds may add free agent Diogo Leite to their centre-back depth this summer. With just 1 week remaining in the window, Leeds United are still looking to add a winger, a striker, defender and a goalkeeper. Diogo Leite has been linked with Leeds continuously over the course of the summer. He was very good at Union Berlin last season, the season before that as well. He would be a good option as a left-sided natural centre-back as well, which would give Leeds some cover and competition for Tarik Muharmovic. But not a vital one for Leeds right now. They do have other priorities, as Simon Jones has listed. Leeds still need to get the attacking side of it and some backup options. The Sigur deal is very interesting as well. Yesterday, we were told that he's had a medical at Leeds, but has gone back to Frankfurt to train, similar to Lucas Perry, who's had a medical at Torino, but is back at Leeds training, likely to get those kind of medicals out of the way. So if they do manage to get a deal done late, it can be done really, really quickly. You're not going to have to wait for a player to sit a medical. And we know Leeds is still chasing some attackers as well. So one to keep an eye on, not one that needs to get done today or tomorrow. This one can take its time. And we'll see how we go. We'll move on. So a brand new striker name to add to our shopping list. And Leeds United are reportedly interested in RB Leipzig's Danish forward Conrad Harder. And are labelled as real competition for sides in Italy and in Turkey who've thought that they might already have an open run at the attacker. Foot Mercato Santi Euna as well as Valentin Foylet are reporting that Leeds United, along with that club in Turkey and Lazio in Italy, are all interested in Harder. Now, Danish outlet Tipsblatten goes a step further and adds some depth to this story, basically saying that Leeds United have already made contact with Harder's agents to try and suss out whether he would be interested in the move, what they would need to do from a personal terms perspective before then making any kind of a formal move directly to RB Leipzig. They also point out that Lazio have gone a step further than Leeds already. They have an offer on the table, and that offer is a loan with an option to buy. But that might not work for RB in this situation. Leipzig are not keen to sell him at all. They only brought him in last summer from Sporting Lisbon for about £23 million. And if they do sell him, they will look to try and recoup as much of that as they possibly can. So a loan with an option doesn't really appeal to them. Now, he is a young player. He's 21 years of age. He is regarded as being a player of very high potential. 6'1", a profile that Leeds are said to very much like, but not exactly a stack load of goals at this point in his career, but they are starting to come. He's played one game off the bench this season. He's already scored in that game. But outside that, very much a player of promise. But it is a profile that Leeds like. He is over that 6 foot bracket as well. So one to keep an eye on, but it would be a more tricky one to get done. RB don't want to sell. Lazio have a loan with an option in already. Leeds are sussing it out right now. We'll see. Let's move on. And wrapping up today in the rumour mill section. This is very much rumour mill stuff and pinch of salt. So just add this to your skeptical column. So this one is a report that's come out that states that Leeds United, along with Celtic and Coventry City, are all interested in a move for Hajduk Split Niko Sigur. He's a 22-year-old Canadian right back. So it doesn't exactly fit what Leeds are looking for right now. However, he does also play as a central defensive midfielder, which might be Leeds' interest in this. He had a very impressive World Cup for Canada. He'll only cost in and around £3 million thereabouts. But as I say, is primarily a right back. 22 seems a very unlikely move for Leeds to make. Does feel very much like a Celtic type move. But yeah, not a left-sided cover. If Leeds were looking at him, it's possibly as a central midfielder. And he has played in both of those positions, but more so a fullback than anything else. But yeah, one to add to the skeptical pile there, at least for now. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. That'll be it for me today. You can check out the match view last night with the lads. I'll see you tonight over on YouTube for the watch along and then the instant match reaction straight afterwards. Well, we still wait on Big Up to get fixed so we can head back over there for the watch alongs. But more to come. We'll see how things develop over the next day or so. Talk to you later. See you. Bye.